We have a lot of bridges to cross today. Season 2, Episode 20, Bridges. In our cover shot, you're going to see a picture of Dallas, city of Dallas downtown. Then there's a bridge, several bridges that go across the Trinity River over into an area that's called Oak Cliff, which later became incorporated into the city. So, how do you feel about bridges today?
I love bridges. I love bridges. I also hate bridges because when I love them, I always think that there might be a possibility someone jumped off of that bridge that I love. And actually, there was a time in my life when I wanted to jump off of the bridge. But let's look at the bright side. Or
You
let's
didn't jump. You didn't jump, and I'm really
look
glad
at the
because
bright side.
sometimes
Let's
at the
build.
last minute
Uh,
you decide not to jump. Go ahead.
I once heard a joke about collapsing bridge. Still can't get over it. But yeah, that was just me. Anyway, do you remember that saying I love? Let's cross that bridge when we get to it. Do you like it?
I do like it, but I am more of a bridge burner.
Do you? Oh yeah.
I like the expression let's burn that bridge once we cross it.
Wow. But
Which
go ahead.
no, I mean I like the idea like let's wait until we get to something before we start worrying about it because I am a worrier and it's better just to kind of wait till we get there then we'll deal with it. But
Oh,
I mean, I think that's good. That's good. That's good therapy advice for
wha-
me because
wha-
I'm always like catastrophizing in the future.
don't be hard to yourself because one of the hardest things in life to learn are which bridges to cross and which bridges to burn. Hey, who
Wow.
said that?
Wow. We
Do you
have to
know who
pause
said
and let
this?
that.
I
We need
guess
to pause and say it again.
who said that?
You just
Oprah. I
said it.
don't remember her last name. Oprah. I guess that was
Oprah
her,
Winfrey.
probably.
I thought you were talking about okra, the little green vegetable.
No, the Oprah. But
No,
the
no, I got it. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, you
yeah.
got
No,
it.
the
Go ahead.
TV lady. Yeah, the
Exactly.
TV
Well,
lady.
also,
Yes.
let's build
Go ahead.
bridges, not walls. That was Martin Luther King Jr. I think. And look, speaking as far as the walls are concerned, we're going to build a wall. I would build a great wall, and no one builds wall better than me. Do you know who said that?
So anyhow, I know that there's a lot of famous cities that have bridges. There are bridges in London, bridges in Paris, and also bridges in Austin, Texas. So the University of Texas is a very, very dear place to me. That's my university. And there are some bridges across the river there. And there's people go rowing on the river and they bicycle along the river. But there's bats that
Bats.
fly out from under the bridges and screech and cry and just fill the sky. And it's sort of a famous place to go on a date or to have visitors in town. You just go to the along the bridges and you just watch the bats fly out
Mm.
and they just fill the sky with screeching and it's somehow beautiful. How do
Do
you feel about screeching bats in the
Now the
sky?
bats, I think of Batman and all those Marvel comics, wonderful movies. And but speaking of, you mentioned when we spoke about towers, you mentioned that in the tarot, the tower represents so and so. Do you remember from the top of your head what the bridge in the tarot card means?
Oh, in the tarot card?
Tarot card, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, a bridge is always a connection. Um, I mean, it is a way, like there's the drawbridge. So the classic medieval scene is the tower where someone has entrapped someone or is protecting or keeping someone. And then sometimes there's water around it. And then there's a moat, which has a drawbridge that goes down and it's
Mm.
controlled by the king of the castle. And
Mm.
I just know that the bridge represents a way in and a way out. So in the tarot card, a bridge um, that is burning is, preventing a way out, and a bridge that is intact represents the ability to come and go. So that's all I can remember right off the top of my head.
I like it. I like it. Connections and probably maybe hope too.
Yeah, I mean, hope is always good.
Yeah,
I
because
think,
if you just get over that bridge, you may find yourself in a better place on the other side, and there's always hope for that.
well, there's also a card game that my mother and my grandmother used to play. I think in my generation and my children's generation, people don't, I don't know, they don't play card games anymore. They do stuff online. But there was a game called Bridge, and ladies would get together and have tea and cookies, and they would play bridge and gossip about life and their husbands and this and that. But in dreams, we had an earlier episode about dreams and what dreams mean and the unconscious mind. But in a dream, a bridge would symbolize the passage from one state to another,
Hmm.
like an ascension, like moving from this to that, or moving some kind of transformation in the soul or the spirit, or like
Hmm.
the ending of one cycle and the beginning of another. So we're
Hmm.
kind of coming towards the end of season two, autumn, and we're going to be moving into winter. So, yeah, the bridge on the tarot card represents lots of different
Yeah.
things.
But in life, bridges, I think bridges have kind of their own intimate character, maybe built of stone. Especially when I was in Germany, there are many old bridges built of stone, and if you go outside, if you go out in midnight, for instance, right, and
Hmm.
you sort of stand at midnight on the bridge and contemplate life, and it's half romantic and half painful, but it has its magic.
I like that.
You ever tried
Well,
to stand at midnight on
uh,
the bridge?
well, Dallas is kind of dangerous, so I try not to be out at midnight by myself on bridges. But no, I hear what you're saying. Actually, we had a full moon last night,
Mm.
and it was Halloween, and today is All Saints Day. Tomorrow is considered to be All Souls Day. So this time is called a thin space. We're kind of in a transition time, but I think you're right. Like being out at midnight or going someplace with some people. But what you're saying is you were on a bridge by yourself in Germany, or where were you?
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's a tourist destination basically, and there are many people around. Not at midnight, especially, but still there are, and anybody could be on my place. But you've mentioned
Where, like,
transition.
is it
Sorry, go ahead.
was was it like in Frankfurt or Dusseldorf or Berlin, or where was this bridge?
Munich, not far.
Munich,
Hmm.
Munchen. Ah, we
Don't
have quite a
remember the name of the
few
castle.
Germans.
Neuschwanstein. Does that ring any bell? No, Neuschwanstein. And there is a beautiful
Yeah.
old
Oh, that's
bridge.
famous. Oh,
Yeah.
that's very, yeah.
Hmm.
Neuschwanstein. It's beautiful. They. I have not been there, but that's awesome that you've been there. That's like a magical fairy tale place.
Since we're
Yeah,
on it, I remember that the owner or whoever built the castle, he disappeared. He was a very unhappy man, and he disappeared. I'm not sure if he jumped off of that bridge really, but now, when we're talking about that, he disappeared. He went. They said he was like mentally not stable. I'm not sure, but the beautiful castle was beautiful, and the bridge is great, and the scenery is good. I liked it a lot.
yes, I think he was called Mad King
Yeah,
Ludwig.
yeah, probably. I don't remember. I was a long time ago.
Neuschwanstein.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's I have not been there, but I know that my I lived in Frankfurt, and I know that my parents and different people had been there, and
It's a
it
very
also
famous
kind of
place.
overlooks some land, a lake, and mountains,
Uh huh.
and it's exactly what you think of in a fairy tale. This King Ludwig is from Bavaria, and I'm just
Mm-hmm.
looking up that he commissioned to build this castle in 1869, 2 years after Austria and Bavaria were conquered by Prussians during the
Right.
Austro-Prussian War. So he retreated into his private fantasy world where he could live out his dreams. And yeah, I have heard that he's a bit of a crazy fellow. But
Yeah.
I think bridges and castles and towers strike our imagination for
Yeah.
sure, for
He
sure.
he retreated into his man cave, metaphorically speaking. But you've also mentioned transition, and I think that bridges often symbolize, in dreams especially, some kind of a transition. Do you happen to see bridges in your dreams from time to time?
Actually, I have it. I have. This is true. I have seen myself running to the end of a bridge, and the back part of the bridge is burning
Hmm.
because there's been a lot of starting over things for me in my life. So I think that's like a specific archetype for me to
Hmm.
just
Uh,
be trying to get to the next side and like save myself.
uh,
And yeah, I've now saved myself to 2020, and I'm in patroma therapy. What do you think about that?
Absolutely, that's great. I know you're good at interpreting dreams. I'm not, but I think making a bridge between like the dream feelings and your waking life, it's sort of some kind of reveal how you feel about your life situation in general.
Well, have you had any recent, or maybe within the past year or so, dreams of any bridges?
Maybe once or twice, not very often. When I asked you and you tell me you had such dreams, I can't say the same about myself.
Well, one of the reasons I remember my dreams is because I like to keep a journal and I like to write down things and I like to write poems. And we're going to have another actual next episode's going to be about keeping diaries. But I don't keep the diary next to my bed, but I usually get up, I lay in bed and then I just try to recall a dream fragment before I get out of the bed. Because once you jump up and start moving your body around, sometimes the dream flees, but or runs away, not flees. Yeah, and yeah, I think that writing down dreams can be a way of learning about where you are and what you're doing. And
Hmm.
we're living in very very strange times. How about in Moscow? Are there some bridges in Moscow? I have never been to Moscow or St. Petersburg.
Well, of course, we have a number of bridges because there was the city river, Moscow River, and we had to cross it somehow. Some of them very old, near the Kremlin, some of them quite new. Um, but they're all kind of regular. Not
What do you
those,
mean
not
regular?
those stone, not those stone magical bridges I stood on near Neuschwanstein.
Oh yeah, that's pretty fabulous. Well, in our cover shot, I think there are a couple different bridges that cross the Trinity River from Dallas into Oak Cliff, and one of the most modern ones, the most recent ones, was done by an architect named Santiago Calatrava, and it's very spectacular. Except for the city of Dallas did not want to do all the wind tests for the suspension cables, and now we're having troubles with some cracking in the bridge because it was a fabulous bridge and it looks great from the skyline, but it's not very practical. So
Hmm.
the city council was a little bit annoyed that why do we need a suspension bridge? We're not. Some guy said this isn't Spain. This is Dallas. But I think bridges, capture our imagination and
Yeah,
make me want to travel.
great.
Well, maybe we should travel into our next episode, which is going to be about keeping diaries. So keep your eyes peeled on your dreams, and hang out in your man cave, write in um, your diary, and maybe have some coffee.
Yeah, and Don't forget that everything you've done or said, or it's all water under the bridge.
Yes, it is. Goodbye for now.
Bye.